The short answer is because he has that star on the side of his helmet. Come on now, we all know that. That's the end of the video. Nah, but if you have a little bit more time on your hands and want to actually do more research with me, the vid starts now. Every year he puts up elite numbers, but every year he's blamed for the downfall of America's team. He led his franchise to multiple playoff berths, survived brutal injuries, and outperformed quarterbacks with bigger names, and still, no respect. The media calls him overrated, fans call him overpaid, analysts laugh at his name in MVP conversations.
Dak Prescott is not better than Tony Romo.
Dak Prescott is not that talented.
Prescott, you're not a Pro Bowl super winning quarterback. Done.
I just don't think Pittsburgh's gonna be able to keep it.
We need another quarterback, another coach.
No more Dak Prescott!
ASAP, new quarterback.
Dak is ass. Right? Can I say on TV? Because he is ass.
This isn't just about a quarterback, it's about expectations, pressure, and the one franchise where winning in the regular season still isn't enough. This is the real reason why the NFL doesn't respect Dak Prescott. You wanna know what's crazy? Dak Prescott was never supposed to be that guy. When the Cowboys drafted him in the 4th round in 2016, 135th overall, it wasn't a master plan. Nah, he wasn't brought in to be the next hero. He was insurance, a project, a just in case.
All right, and I will say it, I've said it before, I thought maybe he might not be a quarterback in the NFL 2 years ago.
Dallas had Tony Romo, the vet, the guy they would ride or die with. Dak, he was supposed to sit, learn, maybe play some preseason snaps and fade into the shadows. A development quarterback meant to carry a clipboard, that's it. But then life happened and did what it always does in football. It flipped the script. Preseason, Romo gets hit awkwardly against Seattle, back injury, and out just like that. Overnight, Dak was thrown into the starting role. Now America's team was riding on the arm of a 23-year-old rookie most America had barely heard of a month earlier. The stage was set for an unlikely underdog story. And what does Dak do? He doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't fake it. He balls out. That first month, man, he looked like he had been there before. Calm, poised, very structured, like he had been silently studying the game his whole life and was just waiting for his number to get called. And when it was, he made it mean something. After a narrow loss in his Week 1 debut, he proceeded to reel off win after win. Prescott led the Cowboys to an astonishing 11-game winning streak, a franchise record.
I knew then it was like there's no way we can go back to 9. There's no way we can go back to Roma with the momentum as it is. If
the Cowboys finished 13-3, first in the NFC, Dak, he was more than just along for the ride. He was driving a damn bus. And the numbers, stupid clean. 3,600 passing yards, 23 touchdowns to only 4 picks, with a 104.9 passer rating. Oh, and 6 rushing touchdowns, which earned him Rookie of the Year, a Pro Bowl, and just like that, a whole legacy started before the league even knew his name for real.
The number one thing that Dak does so good, he makes great decisions with the football. 0 interceptions.
But here's where the story shifts. See, in Dallas, they don't just cheer, they judge. Hard, very hard. And the minute Dak started shining, people started squinting. Is it really him though? Maybe it's the O-line. Zeke is carrying the offense. Anybody could do that behind that offensive line.
Is that America's team is succeeding because they built a wall called an offensive line.
Bottom line is, Dak Prescott is not better than Tony Romo.
You heard it everywhere. ESPN, Twitter, barbershops, analysts couldn't wait to call him a game manager. You know, that backhanded compliment basically saying he's not messing it up, but he's not winning it either. The implication that Dak was more passenger than pilot, just a calm guy along for the ride, while the real stars, the line, the run game, the coaching, did the heavy lifting. It didn't matter that he was protecting the ball better than half the league. It didn't matter that he played with a veteran poise as a 23-year-old thrown into the fire. People wanted it to be a fluke, a flash, a Cinderella story that midnight would expose. Then came the playoffs, the ultimate test. The storybook regular season gave the Cowboys a first week bye, and sky high hopes that maybe they could do something. But then came the divisional round, Cowboys versus the Packers. Aaron Rodgers on the other sideline, and for the first time of the season, the bright lights fell hotter than ever. Dallas fell behind big, but Dak didn't panic. He rallied. 302 yards, 3 touchdowns, no fear. He matched Rodgers punch for punch and rallied Dallas from an 18-point deficit in the second half. The rookie had ice in his veins, delivering clutch throws to Dez Bryant and Jason Witten to tie the game late, giving Dallas a chance. But Rodgers did what Rodgers does, made an insane sideline throw to set up a field goal and sent Dallas home. Season over, just like that. And you would think people would give the rookie his flowers for the performance, but nah, the takeaway wasn't Dak showed heart. It was Cowboys still can't win in January.
I told you a month ago, the Dallas Cowboys will be like Kentucky basketball freshmen. They will be one and done.
And because he wore that star on his helmet, he inherited every disappointment that came before him, as if he was the reason for it. That one playoff loss planted a seed that never stopped growing. To some fans, he was a hero, to others, a placeholder, but to the NFL media machine, he was still unproven. So yeah, Dak had a fairy tale rookie season. He shocked the league, won over the locker room, and made Jerry Jones tear up on national TV, but respect, that came slow. Like real slow, because the moment he succeeded, people started asking how long would it last, and the moment he lost, they treated it like it was proof it never mattered in the first place. The rise was real, but the doubt even realer. Dak has done almost everything a franchise quarterback is supposed to do. In the regular season, he's been a model of success, leading the Cowgirls to multiple double-digit win seasons and 4 NFC East titles. And that's the part they don't like to talk about. Over 3,000 yards in the air, 6 different times, and 3 of those over 4,000 yards, 3 Pro Bowl nods, and just recently he delivered arguably his finest season, 4,500 passing yards and an NFL best 36 passing touchdowns and a career high 105.9 passer rating in 2023, finishing as the runner-up for the MVP. His overall regular season record stands at 76-46, a testament to consistent excellence. By any standard, Dak has proven he can win in this league. And yet, somehow the goalpost continues to move. Because when you're Dak Prescott, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, winning in a regular season doesn't mean you're truly winning. Let's go back to 2022. Bro put up 36 touchdowns, a career high, and finished second in the MVP voting behind Patrick Mahomes. That right there is validation that he should get love, or at least it should have been. But instead, here comes the hot takes. Is Dak even a top 10 quarterback? Sure, he puts up stats, but can he win when it matters?
Is Dak already an all-time great Cowboys QB?
What?
Dak Prescott is not one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
I don't think Dak Prescott's a top 10 quarterback in my opinion.
The same media that drooled over numbers for quarterbacks in other markets suddenly acted like Dak's numbers were inflated, like his success had an asterisk. He could throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the headlines the next morning would be, Cowboys survive scare, not Prescott shines, not Dak delivers. Even his wins don't sound like wins. In a playoff narrative, oh, they cooked that early on. Joy Taylor from FS1 flat out stated that Prescott isn't talented enough to get to an NFC championship game, doubling down on the notion that Dak can elevate his team when it matters most.
But Joy, what do you need to see from Dak Prescott this season?
A miracle. Dak Prescott is not that talented.
When you say that talented, what are you saying?
To get to an NFC championship game.
You'd think dude went out there and dropped the ball every postseason, even when that wasn't the case, especially when he balled out in losses. But see, in this media cycle, context doesn't sell, just clips, sound bites, and blame. Always blame. And make no mistake, when the Cowboys lose, especially in the playoffs, it's always Dak's fault. Doesn't matter if the defense give up 30, doesn't matter if the receivers drop passes, Dak is always going to get cooked. Even his own teammate, Micah Parsons, had to step in and say it out loud. After a brutal playoff loss, Parsons looked into the camera and basically said, we, the defense, let him down. But he's the one that's taking all the heat.
But the way they scrutinized Dak and said, oh, well, he didn't win this game, he didn't do that. Well, his defense let him down. We gave up 30 points. We did what we couldn't stop the run. So,
and that's real. That's locker room truth. That's pain behind the shoulder pads. Dak wasn't just catching blame. He's catching all of it. And why? Because the standard for Dak Prescott has never been football. It's been perception. Critics have been moving the finish line on this man for 8 straight years. First it was he isn't consistent. Then it was he can't do it in the playoffs. Then it turned into he's not the guy that can elevate a franchise. Each year the goal gets pushed a little further, and each win just delays the verdict. It doesn't rewrite it. You start to feel it. This unspoken message from the league, from the media, from the culture, Dak, you're good, but never good enough. And that's the part that breaks you down if you're not built for it. Because in Dallas, regular season success doesn't mean a thing without confetti in February. You can go 12-5, nobody cares. You can win the division, so what? You can make the playoffs, cool, but if you lose, you're a fraud, you're overpaid, you're the reason. And let's be real, being the quarterback of the Cowboys comes with baggage. The ghost of Romo, the legend of Aikman, the shadow of the Super Bowls from the 90s. You're judged not just on the wins, but on myths. You're expected to be part quarterback, part politician, and part miracle worker. So yeah, Dak Prescott been winning a lot, but in this league, in that jersey, even winning isn't enough. Every year when the calendar flips to January, a familiar weight settles on Dak Prescott's shoulders. It's the weight of expectations, of history, and of a fan base starved for postseason glory. As the late season skies darken over AT&T Stadium, there's a mix of hope and dread because Cowboy fans have seen this movie before. 5 playoff berths, 7 games, just 2 wins, both in the wildcard round, 0-3 in the divisional round, the exact same playoff wall Tony Romo ran into, and Cowboy fans know how that script ended. To some, Dak is becoming Romo 2.0, heavy stats, early exits, too much heartbreak. But let's rewind because context matters. 2016, his rookie year, Dak goes toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers in a divisional round. Down 21-3, he puts on the Superman cape and goes off for 302 yards, 3 touchdowns, and ties the game with 35 seconds left. Then Rodgers hit a miracle on a 3rd and 20. Cowboys lose on the last second field goal, but Dak's brilliance was overshadowed because all people remember is another L. 2018 wildcard versus Seattle, Dak seals it on a 3rd and 14 scramble, fearless, flipping through the air, the kind of play that defines a quarterback. Then a week later, the Rams ran through Dallas, nearly 300 rushing yards. Dak plays well, but the Cowboys defense looks like tissue paper. Another divisional exit, another almost. 2021, back at home versus the 49ers, ugly first half with the late rally. Down 6 with seconds to go, Dak takes off for a QB draw. No timeout, clock runs out before the spike, game over. Forget the 14 penalties, forget the coaching screw-ups. The world only remembers Dak running with no time left, and the internet, they ate it up.
Dak should know, gotta find a ref immediately, hand him the football.
You want to execute the play? Give the official the football.
You can't hand the ball to your center and say, let's go, ball in. He has to know I gotta get down and I have to find the ref. He didn't know that. Romo knew it.
2022 wild card game on the road versus Tom Brady, and Dak goes nuclear. 305 yards, 5 total touchdowns, not a single turnover, and that was the best playoff game of his career. He silenced everyone for a week because the next round was a revenge game against the 49ers again. Different script, same ending. 2 picks with 1 coming in the red zone. Cowboys lose 19-12 and Dak's ratings drops to 63.6. Dallas fans cried. The 49ers moved on and the narrative was cemented.
Dak Prescott is primarily responsible for losing that game yesterday.
We need a quarterback that wins playoff games. We don't have one.
Very, very disappointed. We weren't able to come out this one. Disappointed in my play. Disappointed for the guys in the locker room.
2023 was the low point. MVP level regular season. Cowboys go 12-5 and get a home playoff game versus Jordan Love and the Packers. Everyone expects Dallas to continue their dominance. Instead, they get embarrassed. Down 27-0 early, Dak throws 2 picks, including a heartbreaking pick 6. Packers drop 48 points at AT&T Stadium. Dak puts up some late garbage time stats, but it's a little too late. And this was the most lopsided home playoff loss in Cowboys history. After the game, Dak says it plain and simple: I sucked.
I sucked tonight. No, that was it. As I said, got it going a little bit late, but none of that mattered at that point.
And that's the problem. Hell, maybe it's the Cowboy star, maybe it's the price tag, or maybe, just maybe, it's the impossible standard of being a quarterback of America's team. In Dallas, you're not measured on stats, you're measured by rings. Since 1995, no Cowboys quarterback has made the NFC Championship. Dak has 4 divisional titles, but no Final Four appearances. And in a city that wants Super Bowls more than they want to breathe, everything else feels empty. The media doesn't wait. The fans don't forget. Every playoff loss stacks on the last. And each one feeds on the belief that Dak just doesn't have it.
No more Dak Prescott!
ASAP, new quarterback.
Dak, get him out of here.
There's a certain point in every NFL career where it's not just about talent anymore. It's about value, about business. And for Dak, that came with fireworks, franchise tags, and one of the ugliest injuries you will ever see. Let's back it up a bit to 2020. Dak was playing out a 1-year deal and his 2nd straight franchise tag. 2 years in a row, the Cowboys told him, "We like you, but not that much." They wouldn't commit long term, so Dak bet on himself. And then he snaps his ankle in week 5. Ugly, graphic on national TV, and the man didn't even have a long-term deal to fall back on. That should have been the end of the story. For a lot of quarterbacks, it would have been, but not for Dak. March 2021, the bet pays off. and Jerry Jones finally caves and the vault opens. 4 years, $160 million, $66 million signing bonus, $126 million guaranteed. At the time, he was the highest paid player in NFL history, the biggest contract Dallas had ever written. And just like that, the conversation changes. He's no longer young Dak from Mississippi State. Now he's $40 million a year Dak. And with that label comes a new level of heat. The critics came flying out of the woodworks. The ink was barely dry on Dak's deal when the skeptics started chirping. Sports radios and TV analysts questioned whether he truly earned that payday without a deep playoff run or Super Bowl appearance. Analyst Chris Sims went as far as asking, is he even a top 10 quarterback?
If you look at Dak Prescott and what he's done, I think he's the most disrespected quarterback in the National Football League.
To many, Dak's new contract wasn't a celebration, it was a target on his back. He wasn't just the Cowboys quarterback anymore. He was the $40 million a year quarterback in every headline, every debate, every barbershop argument. Because when you wear that star, you're not just a quarterback, you're an idea. And if the idea of you doesn't come with playoff wins, they'll turn on you fast.
4 more years! 4 more years!
No playoff for you! No playoff for you!
Now let's fast forward 3 years to 2024. After a couple more early playoff exits and 0 NFC championship trips, Dak signs another bombshell deal.
$240 million contract extension with Dak Prescott that makes him the highest paid player in football.
And let me say that again for the folks in the back. $60 million a year. Without any big playoff wins, he earned an extra 20 M's. The first quarterback in NFL history to hit that number. The moment that deal dropped, it was like the whole league hit a pause. The media cooked up a storm.
We know what he's going to give you. So you're making him highest paid quarterback of all time and all that, right? And you give him all this money, but we know what to expect. 12 wins, good season, maybe an all-pro. But we get in the playoffs, that Prescott is not there no more.
First of all, I would have never given Prescott a new contract. I'd let him play it out.
And with that record deal came a new wave of hate. Cowboys fans and the media were shocked. $60 million a year, they said, with no ring to show for it? Where's the Super Bowls, Dak? There were even comparisons to Pat Mahomes, who has MVPs and Lombardi trophies. Dak was being paid the best of the best, and every shortcoming in his resume was magnified under this new contract. Many argued that his massive deal was holding the Cowboys back from building a championship roster and messing up the Cowboys' salary cap. But however, by early 2025, the team restructured Dak's contract, converting $45 million of his 2025 salary into a signing bonus to free up $36 million in cap space. Even then, owner Jerry Jones admitted that they were about to splurge in free agency, in which they did by giving him a new guy to throw to. Now here's the part folks don't always get. Dak ain't out there asking for sympathy. He earned that money. He worked for it. But the second you become the highest paid anything in sports, you stop being a player and you become a measuring stick. And every time he steps onto the field now, he's not just playing football. He's justifying a number. Every throw, every sack, every playoff game. It's not, how did Dak play? It's, was that $60 million good or was it a waste? And let's be real, the fact that he doesn't have any real success in the playoffs, he's skating on thin ice. So yeah, Dak's paid, but the check came with pressure, with noise, with the spotlight that never turns off. And in a city that doesn't hang up division banners, you better believe they're not cashing those checks for second round exits. Have you ever tried doing your job with a camera in your face and a million people watching, and every time you breathe wrong, they'll make it a trending topic? Yeah, welcome to Dak Prescott's life, because being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys ain't like playing anywhere else. It's not just football, it's politics, performance arts, public relations, and the high stakes drama every single week. And however you like to slice it and dice it, at one point, this was quote unquote America's team, the most watched, most debated, most memed franchise in the NFL. So when you play quarterback here, you're not just running an offense, you're carrying a brand, and the weight that comes with it can bury most men. See, in Dallas, the microscope never blinks. Every throw, every quote, every eyebrow raise gets analyzed, clipped, uploaded, and debated before Dak even finishes walking off the field. I'm pretty sure y'all probably remember this clip of him going viral last season, of him saying, "We fucking suck" on the sideline while trailing the Falcons. And yeah, sports media, oh, they love it. One Sports Illustrated writer said it plain and simple: the Cowboys bring the ratings, so of course they're gonna talk about Dak. They'll twist a Monday afternoon press conference into a Friday morning first take meltdown, because drama sells, and Dallas drama sells best. And when a national audience is looking for a villain, guess who's the first in line? Take this for example. Just last month in May, head coach Brian Schottenheimer spoke to the media. He was asked about backup quarterback Joe Milton and whether he was in a development phase. That led Coach Brian saying that all quarterbacks can continue to learn, using Dak Prescott as a general example.
I think they all are. I mean, I think Dak is in the developmental phase, and that sounds crazy for a guy that's played that much, but like there's things that we're tweaking with Dak, so I don't think it's just for Joe.
Okay, well, so what is Dak Prescott developing? And he was talking about his cadence.
See, a simple, true statement, every quarterback needs developing, morphed into another Dallas drama. Engagement-hungry social media accounts pounced, using this as a shot at Dak to stir up fans' emotions. Twitter spun it into, Dak still developing? Dak needs training wheels? How is he not ready? Even the betting app Underdog tweeted, mind you, Dak is in his 9th year and getting paid $240 million. All this from one bland sentence taken out of context, and that's just how it goes. Because when you're a Cowboys quarterback, even neutral comments become ammunition. Even compliments turn into criticism, and silence becomes suspicion. And look, let's keep it real. The fans in Dallas, they could care less about progress reports. 12 wins ain't enough. Division titles don't move the needle. You either bring home a ring or get labeled a disappointment. And that pressure, it doesn't just come from Twitter fans. It comes from Jerry Jones himself, a man who talks about Super Bowls like he can order them on DoorDash.
I'd do anything known to man to get in a Super Bowl. That's a fact.
Dak Prescott was handed the keys to a billion-dollar empire and told deliver a dynasty or else. And since he hasn't, he lives in this strange loop of praised on Sunday, picked apart on Monday. No matter how good he plays, the whispers never stop. But can he win the big one? Can he do it in January? Is he really that guy? We've seen analysts cross the line from criticism to outright disrespect. After a rough game or an injury, the takes can get ridiculous. Just like during a tough stretch in 2024, for some reason, James Jones from the facility spun into Dak quit on his team.
Dak quitting.
Oh, hold on, James.
It ain't even like funny though. Like my man quitting on these dudes. It don't take no 4 weeks for you to heal from no hamstring. You're not Lamar Jackson.
It was a lazy, absurd narrative. So much so that former Cowboys players were pissed. Ex-Cowboy safety Barry Church reacted in disbelief, calling out the nonsense and saying, the disrespect is at an all-time high. This is out of pocket and makes no damn sense. Because when a quarterback who's playing hurt is accused of quitting, you know the takes have gone off the rails. But this is the level of discourse Dak draws. So yeah, he gets disrespected, but not because he's trash, but because he hasn't won enough for a fan base and media ecosystem that believes anything short of a ring is failure. That's the Cowboys standard, and being their quarterback means you get the blame, even when it's not your fault. Because in this job, you're not expected to just lead, you're expected to be legendary. And until that happens, the pressure won't just stay, it'll grow louder, heavier, and hotter. Let me tell you something that's gonna sound crazy, but if you've been watching long enough, it makes perfect sense. Dak could throw for 5,000 yards, win 12 games, and named All-Pro, and still wake up Monday morning with a debate show saying he's not that guy. That's where we are now. This isn't just about football anymore, it's about perception. About no matter what Dak does, the respect, it doesn't come easy. But now he got defenders, and plenty of them. People who know the man and not just the headlines. Veteran receiver Brandon Cooks called the criticism blasphemy. Straight up, he said, the guy shows up every year, putting up numbers.
There's a couple guys I've been around that can lead a team, and the way that he's doing it, to be this young is unbelievable.
Even Micah Parsons is loud with supporting his quarterback. Anytime Dak is flamed on national TV, Micah hops online and checks folks in real time. Because inside the locker room, they see a leader, they see the work ethic, they see the toughness, but outside the building, the praise don't travel. Because on TV, they keep running the same old tapes. Is he elite? Can he win the big one? Is he holding the Cowboys back? They say it so often, it doesn't even need to be true anymore. It just becomes gospel, a storyline that has been repeated so many times, it feels real, even if the numbers tell you a different story. And here comes Shady McCoy, the former Eagle. And you already know where this going. Dude gets on TV and says, Cowboys players don't respect Dak. They're tired of him being a face. And let's be clear, that whole statement was built off one clip. Trayvon Diggs trash talking Dak in practice.
Do you believe this team doesn't respect their quarterback?
I just think from my experience, I've never witnessed, certain words. I've seen trash talk. You think Tom Brady don't talk trash? Sure.
But this was nothing more than brothers going at it. Iron sharpens iron, normal stuff. But McCoy ran with it. Suddenly it's, see, they don't even like him. He's lost the team. But even Trayvon cleared it up and said, it's just brotherly love.
People don't need to worry about what we got going on, our relationship, my relationship with my brother, or, you know, how we operate. You know, at the end of the day, it's our team, you know.
The disrespect for Dak has become systematic. It's baked into the coverage. It's assumed. He loses a playoff game, blame him. He wins a playoff game, well, the defense carried. He breaks the Cowboys touchdown record. Cool, do it in January. At this point, Dak could cure ward hunger, and folks would still say he ain't clutch. You ever notice that? The goalpost keeps moving. At first they said he's not consistent. Then it became he hasn't done it in the playoffs. Now it's he can't elevate the team. Every time he checks a box, they hand him a new list. And look, I get it. Dallas hasn't made it past the divisional round. It's been almost 30 years without a Super Bowl appearance. That pressure, it's real. But I think Jerry Jones is kind of to blame for that.
I made a deal with the man upstairs and said, if you'll just do it for me, I'll never ask again. Let me win this third Super Bowl. I won't ask again.
So hell, you ask, you shall receive. Dak didn't create the drought, he inherited it, and yet he's become the face of every failure, like he's the only thing between Dallas and dynasty. You want to talk resume, 6 Pro Bowls, franchise passing records, top 5 in touchdowns, top 5 in efficiency, but when they talk about him, it's never about the production, it's always about the postseason. Now, that's fair until it becomes only about that, because suddenly stats doesn't matter, leadership doesn't matter, teammates vouching for you don't matter. All that matters is the ring he doesn't have, and until Dak gets that, they'll keep treating him like a placeholder, like he's renting the role until the real hero shows up. But here's the kicker, the real hero might already be there. He's not just wearing a cape, he's wearing number 4. Steady, quiet, durable, underrated, and still climbing that hill, one unfair headline at a time. So let me know, is you rocking with Dak or is he trash?